Hi everyone, and thanks for being here today. My name is Amreen Noor, and I work in the service team of Top Tech Consultants. Today, I'm going to discuss how agencies in Australia can comply with desirable company governance, that capacity, how they run their business legally, ethically, and responsibly. This is especially important now after major issues at companies like Crown Casino and Rio Tinto. Moving to our next slide, I'm going to discuss about the introduction. Corporate governance is all about how an employer is managed, how choices are made, and how leaders are held accountable. When an organization has a strong governance, it builds confidence with the public, protects shareholders, and avoids scandals. Recent activities have proven to us what occurs when groups don't comply with the policies. It has to awful press, fines, and serious legal problems. So today we will appear at the key laws and principles that assist corporations do the proper thing. Here are the top 7 most important policies and ideas that assist corporations in Australia, act responsibly. Corporations Act, the major regulations that tells organizations what they need to do legally. Next one is ASX principles, the guidelines for appropriate behavior for listed companies. The next one is directors' duties, rules for how directors ought to act sincerely and carefully. ASIC oversight, the government physics that makes certain corporations observe the rules. Whistleblower protections, laws that shield people who report wrongdoing. Then the next one is stakeholder theory, the concept that organizations have to care about all people they affect, no longer simply shareholders. The last one is CSR or corporate social responsibility. It voluntarily moves to assist the community and environment. Let's focus now on the top 3 most important things that really makes a difference. Number 1 is the Corporations Act. Number 2 is the ASX corporate governance principles, and the last one is the duties of directors. These are the main and important things that help businesses act fairly, legally, and responsibly. Moving to our next slide, I'm going to talk about the name is Corporations Act 2001. The Corporations Act is the large regulation that sets the regulations for all Australian companies. It covers matters like financial reporting, how administrators have to behave, and what companies ought to inform their shareholders. Is a strong regulation due to the fact it can lead to huge penalties if organizations break the rules. One instance is the Commonwealth Bank. They have been fined around 700 million because they didn't comply with anti-money laundering laws. This suggests how serious it is when corporations don't comply with legal rules. The next one is ASX Corporate Governance Principles. The ASX principles are no longer laws, however, they are recommendations that assist organizations make higher decisions. They talk about having the proper board structure, managing risk, being straightforward in reports, and more. Companies don't have to observe them. However, if they don't, they ought to explain why. A good intent is Crown Casino, they didn't comply with these recommendations properly. Their board wasn't independent and they didn't manage dangers properly. That led to a royal commission and a lot of harm to their reputation. Next one is directors' duties, statutory and common law. Directors have serious responsibilities. They need to act with care, in top faith, and no longer use their role to gain themselves. If they break these duties, they can be individually held responsible. A famous case is James Hardy. The organization gave false information and the administrators have been found guilty. This case confirmed how important it is for administrators to act honestly and courteously at all times. Here's a simple comparison of the three. The Corporations Act is the strongest legally and helps corporations avoid fines. The ASX principles assist building public confidence and right ethics. Directors' duties are key for management accountability and personal responsibility. Together, they create a strong foundation for doing business the proper way. So, to sum up, good governance is about following the law, appearing ethically, and managing risks. The Corporations Act, ASX principles, and directors' duties are the three pillars of strong governance in Australia. And as we have been seen in current scandals, when companies don't comply with them, the consequences can be huge. That's all from my side. Thanks for listening. I would love to hear your questions or ideas now. And if anyone needs more elements or help understanding these laws, I am happy to share more examples and resources. My email address is given right here to assist you all. Thank you.